Hello and welcome to yet another A Star to Steer Her By. That's the name of this podcast thing. We're talking Star Trek, as we usually do, except when we don't. And now we are fully immersed in our next series, Voyager. We're covering episodes 5 and 6 of season 1. This is episode of our goddamn show 236.
Wow.
What the hell?
Yeah, the further into this we get, the more unbelievable it is. Every single week, it's like, how many fucking episodes?
So many episodes. So clearly by now you know this is Ames.
You've probably figured out that this is Caitlin.
Jake?
No, wait, and Chris.
Excellent. Good work. Good work all. Alright, so the first episode we're covering is Phage, then we'll talk about the cloud, but first, Phage! Let's see, what's happening in Phage? Kess's farm is already bearing fruit, literally. And Neelix has turned Janeway's private dining room, which seems like an excessive thing to have on this ship, into a galley, a slightly more useful thing to have on a ship. Meanwhile, we reach this planetoid that's supposed to be rich in dilithium, and we're already in energy crisis mode. It's been like... Actually, how long does it take to grow those plants? It's been that long. So we go check it out. And we bring Neelix with us. For reasons. And he immediately finds some guy down there who knocks him out and harvests his organs. Holy shit, that escalated quickly.
It's so fucking dark.
Yeah, right? Like, I was expecting this episode to be Spock's brain levels of tedious, and it's just dark and wow. Yeah. So okay. Neelix is now missing his lungs, and he kind of needs those to breathe air, like, humanoid beings do. So the EMH stabilizes him some fucking how, even though that should be fucking impossible. Although, we'll get to this later, but there are anecdotal critters that can do this. And he and Kess decide to whip up some holographic lungs, and it works! Of course, it does mean that Neelix can never leave that bed, or, get out, leave sick bay or anything like that.
Or so scratch his own nose.
He's confined to this gurney where he's basically a lump that breathes. And we're forced to see Neelix as the only sympathetic character in the show for a little while. And it's like, that's interesting. I guess we could really use a counselor on this ship. Except Troy. Not Troy.
No.
Don't ask Troy.
Or Ezri.
Yeah. I might trust Ezri a little more, because at least she'd keep him company more than anything, which is fine.
True. Of course, she didn't exist yet.
But then they would just explode with, the two most annoying characters in Star Trek power.
Alright, but she's not here, no one's here. EMH has to deal with all of this. Meanwhile, Neelix thinks Paris is making moves on Kess, which is uncomfortable and unnecessary, but...
Oh my god, I hated that scene so fucking much.
But whatever. So, on the other side of things... let's see, there's a chase, and then we blindly fly into an asteroid that we don't know if its caves can hold us.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Then we have a laser fucking light show, which was fun. And then we track down these Vidians. I forget if they say the name in the episodes, but they're called the Vidians.
I think they did.
Dareth and Motura. And they're these... Frankenstein's monster-looking things that are cobbled together out of clay in a dream, because they're constantly dying of phage, and they need, an endless supply of organs to keep them alive for a brief amount of time, until they need another one. So, we have several minutes of ethical debate about, the lengths people will go to extend their lives, and Janeway's like, I don't like any of this. There's no right answer. I don't like it. So we somehow get to the point where, okay, the monsters are going to agree to do some complicated surgery on Neelix because they happen to know all this stuff about transplanting organs. So they give him one of Kess's lungs, and it works. So let's make Kess a candy striper. The end.
Yeah, in a nutshell. All right, I'll say it so we get it out of the way. Yet again, another situation where the transporter is only magic when it won't solve the plot too quickly.
And the replicator, because they used the replicator for something briefly.
Yeah. Well, they said they couldn't replicate his lungs because they're really complex.
But that's ridiculous.
Yeah, And again, like I said, they could have just put him through and have the transporter put his lungs back based on his last pattern.
Oh, right. We always forget to do that.
They even used his last pattern to make the hollow lungs. But again, it's because the transporter is only magic when it won't make the episode too short.
Yeah, I find it really difficult to buy that at this time period, with their level of technology, they're not able to create artificial lungs. Just because,
Well, they can, but it's his in particular. Like, the problem was the doctor said that they, connect to his spinal column in a certain way or something. There was some medical gobbledygook that made it sound a little more complicated than our lungs.
I feel like...
But they were able to give him Kess's lungs, and...
Well, that was because Vidians are magic.
Right, it's because they have far superior medical knowledge to ours, I think was the idea.
And yet can't just clone healthy organs to give themselves.
Or do
well, ironically, they have moral and
respiration.
ethical problems with cloning.
Jake brings up butt respiration, which I wanted to talk about today.
Wait,
Well,
what did you say?
it was the only thing I could think about while watching the episode. I'm like, just shove something up his ass.
I'm so glad that you know about butt respiration. Tell us all you know about butt respiration, Jake.
So, lungs, right, are basically just fleshy sacs that just are very vascular. There's just lots of blood vessels. So, and any place where blood vessels come close to the surface and air passes over them, they can absorb oxygen. So some crazy, sexy sixth was like, you know what else is very vascular? The anus. And
is it the anus or the rectum? It's probably the rectum.
Yeah,
right?
it's the whole area. So anyway, they figured out that that yes, indeed, humans, or frankly anything with an anus probably, can breathe through its butt. If you pump oxygen into somebody's ass, they can breathe that way. So I'm surprised the doctor doesn't know about this and didn't try it, or maybe he did and just got, I don't know. But yeah.
That scene got cut.
He knows, but it was just like, nope.
No, God.
I mean,
nope.
in fairness, I think this is a relatively recent scientific discovery.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if they knew about it when they made the show.
Yeah,
and even if they
watched...
did, I'm sure that would not have come up.
Yeah, there was a good, I think, was a infographic of some kind. I'll have to find it, because I already forget what animal it was, and I didn't have time to look for it this morning. But there's definitely an animal that, when it's, digging in the ground or something and hiding from a predator, it can just breathe through its butt for a little while
That's
it's,
fucking awesome.
in the dirt.
If you're breathing through your ass, your breath must be pretty bad, though, yeah?
Well, it doesn't go out your mouth.
I know, I was kidding. It's a joke. Fine.
Ass. Yeah, I don't know. So there you go. I mean, if this ever comes up again in a future Star Trek series, I do hope the answer is butt breathing.
Call Prodigy, because they're going to love it.
Yeah, that does sound like
No,
something.
actually, Lower Decks.
Yeah, if anyone's going to do it.
And they'll literally say some sexy scientist came up with this great idea. They'll basically give the explanation Jake just gave verbatim.
Now, who's the sexy scientist? Is it Bashir or McCoy?
Somebody that likes to stick things up their butt. That's all.
Definitely Bashir.
Yep. Because how else do you discover this, right? You got this air hose that you're fiddling with, and you're like,
Let me see how long I can hold my breath.
Can I mix my inflation fetish with my medical expertise?
Neat.
The answer's always got to be yes to that, doesn't it?
Of course. The tools are very similar.
Wow. I can't believe that we got to just legitimately discuss ass breathing.
I'm
willing. And Liz isn't even here. Aspiration, good one.
Yeah, also, I feel like, Jake, part of the implication was maybe that, if he had access to, the facilities of a proper starbase or space dock or something, maybe he could have made fakey lungs, but since they're, on their own and have their limited equipment, that's part of the issue, too.
Yeah, and energy is constantly an issue right now already, a week in or however long. But don't worry, we can still fire up the holosuite whenever we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Chris remarked on that too.
That's next episode, but
I was
I
gonna
wanted
say,
to
that's
make
next
sure like
episode.
it is clear.
Yeah.
What?
Like, you can't tell me that's not one of the most... you can't tell me that's not the biggest energy drain of the non-essential systems.
Well, maybe they figured out a way to make it run on, I don't know,
Farts and dreams.
something that they're, like, CO2 or something that they're breathing out.
Anyway, like I said, that's the next one. So yeah, this episode, pretty fucked up. Because first of all, the idea of one's lungs just suddenly being gone is a goddamn nightmare.
Yeah, when he was... Because he couldn't even... Like, there was nothing even to hyperventilate. He was just there just dying a lot. And that was horrifying.
Yeah, his
'Cause
flailing
also,
was really well done.
Like, I knew it was because of the lungs were missing, but just watching him on the table just dying, you're like, oh, this is absolutely wrong in every way.
Yeah, and then it's like, hey, you're alive, but you can't move. Like, at all. We're talking... like, not a micron. And it's not like you're paralyzed. We are just holding you down. So enjoy this.
Yeah, because if
Which
you
he
move,
obviously,
your
did
lungs will
not.
go through your body, which they shouldn't do.
Yeah. You know, it surprised me too that, like, you know, because theoretically his chest cavity is just empty until he gets the holographic lung. So you'd think that would cause some major problems, just having all of his other organs just floating around in an empty area.
Isn't that the point of the diaphragm, to keep them separate? Of course, he's also another critter.
The diaphragm is just the muscle that contracts when you breathe.
Presumably, though, he's still got a rib cage, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
there's
but like his
nothing...
heart's in there, kidneys, all kinds of shit.
He's got stuff, but like, we're pretty tightly packed in, you know?
Yeah, I do know, yeah.
Then again, people do donate lungs, and I mean...
What goes in that space? Play-Doh.
Ugh.
Do people... can't... Is that a thing?
Yeah, you can survive with one lung.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you just breathe through your butt more.
I guess so.
Lung donation is real.
Yeah.
Oh.
Real fucking crazy. Holy shit.
That is crazy. Maybe they, like, replace it with, like, a little compartment to store, like, candy and stuff.
I was hoping maybe like a hot water bottle or something. They just put that in there. It's almost a lung.
Whoopee cushion.
No. Every time you breathe, it farts.
That'd be hilarious. All right, it would be hilarious for like 2 minutes, and then it would be annoying.
Yeah, and then you would never sleep ever.
You know, I mean, I used to sleep through this one, and vice versa, and vice versa. I'm not claiming to never have I ever'd, but
yeah. So this is super horrifying because I think it was one of the writers. I didn't take a ton of notes, but I think one of the writers was basically saying like one of the most horrifying things of their pastime, which was either like paragliding or jumping out of planes, one of those really dangerous hobbies that people shouldn't have but do.
Yeah.
Is if you do it wrong, not only could you die, you could just end up paralyzing yourself irreparably. And that's super, super hard. And like, like they say, like, there's no counselor on board. It's the kind of thing you really need a counselor or someone to just be, wholly supporting you throughout. Because, Jesus God.
And, like, let's be realistic. How long would he have lasted? Just because, how often is this ship getting into shenanigans where the inertial dampeners and everyone's getting thrown around and the power cuts out?
Yeah, I thought that too. Like, it'll be a week until he's like, oh, we don't have anything left.
Like, goddamn. Another thing, too, that struck me was, like, for some reason no one ever brought up, well, hey, could we just, like, go to Talax space and find a Talaxian? Get a donor? That's his species.
One of his species.
Like,
that's a good question.
That never comes up. No one's ever just like, hey, Neelix, which way to your home world?
that would seem the better
That would be a
option.
good backup if we can't catch these aliens.
Well, I think right now the let's get his own lungs back seems more feasible because they know the thieves are nearby.
Oh, yeah, no, I know that, but, like, when they're talking about, like, all they talk was, like, we either get his lungs back or he's trapped in this bed forever. Like that's how it is presented, as a two possibility.
That's a good point. I didn't think of that. Whoopsie.
Plus, like, what if his species wasn't super good at medicine and they don't have extra lungs, or are they going to just pull a Phage Frankenstein majig and steal some lungs from a healthy Talaxian?
Yeah, I'd say we don't know much
Maybe they could just trade him for another Talaxian.
Yeah,
we don't know much
upgrade.
about. We don't know much about his people yet, so we don't really know how. That's it. Our only representative of his culture is him right now, and he's a random weirdo junker. We don't know if that's normal or if
It's not normal. There's no way that's normal.
For all we know, he could be the last of his kind.
like Clark Kent.
The last.
Or the salt vampire. I miss Salt Vampire. Oh, and I do
Yeah.
realize, yes, they did use the word Vidians in the show, because originally they were supposed to be called the Vaforans, but none of the actors pronounced it the same way, so they said, let's take Vidians. That's what they are now.
That's amazing.
I love it.
I feel like
Also, that's just
the emphasis is more. It's like Vidians. The emphasis is more on that second syllable.
Oh God! Now we can't pronounce this one.
Yeah.
They're Fred. Their name is Fred.
Freed?
Vidians killed the Voyager cook. Vidians
Yeah.
killed
So that's
the
an interesting thing,
Voyager
right?
cook.
So Neelix just appoints himself cook and just says, "I'm going to start cooking food." Now, he converts the captain's private dining room into a galley, or was it already?
Yes, he somehow knocked.
Did it already have a galley and he just like found it and was like, oh, okay, here's some cooking equipment? Or did he actually because I'm assuming he doesn't have access to the systems to build cooking
He said
equipment.
he had to reroute a bunch of power, right?
I assumed he didn't do that, yes, but I assumed the spacewalks and such were probably from his ship. Because that's still chilling somewhere in Voyager storage.
Because it does
He
kind of
just gotten
surprise me.
Replicator happy.
It
Yeah, they
surprises
did
me that
teach him how to
Voyager
use it,
doesn't
so.
already have cooking facilities. Like,
Well, because they rely on the replicators.
Yeah,
but the replicators go down all the time, and plus, whenever they're hosting, I mean, I guess the unlike the Enterprise, it's not hosting a lot of diplomatic events, but I'm sure
Or
the
families.
Enterprise, has a kitchen, and
I mean, that's the thing, though. Like you said, she's not going to get those kind of assignments.
yeah, but
Until
I don't know,
she
it just
does in that
seems-
one
it
episode.
but
seems-
she
it
has
does
a
seem
private dining hall
for the captain.
just for her
Yeah,
to eat by herself.
I know that her opening then the next episode is like, why don't I have any friends? And it's like, maybe because you have a fucking private dining room.
I think that's kind of like a naval tradition, though, where
It is.
the captain of the ship has a private dining area and invites, their top officers to eat with them sometimes. And
Did they just never tell her that she could invite people?
yes,
Like, we know it says private, but you could bring other people,
But see, the thing that really gets me is okay, he rerouted power. I'm not sure how no one noticed, but okay. He had to knock down walls.
well, right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I wonder if that room did already have a kitchen, maybe.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
Also,
I don't think so. He looked like he was cooking over exhaust pipes or something.
Yeah, should
I
there
don't know
be
what
this
the fuck
many
was happening.
open flames on a starship?
Probably not. Are they pumping, pure oxygen through the system? Because if so...
To quote, "Thank you for smoking. Thank goodness we invented the whatever device."
The whatever device?
So the whole thing is, Aaron Eckhart is a PR guy for the tobacco companies.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, you have?
With you.
Oh, yeah. Well, so there's that scene when he's trying to, where Rob Lowe is oh, we got this sci-fi movie that can, fuck in zero G and then smoke. And Aaron Eckhart says, well, wouldn't they be in pure oxygen? Wouldn't that just explode? And Rob Lowe goes, oh, we'll throw in a line about how they invented the whatever device.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the open
Cool,
flame
yeah.
allowing device.
Yeah.
How could I have forgotten that iconic line?
It was pretty funny, I thought.
Well,
It is
because Chris didn't quote it, because I'm sure it's not the whatever device.
No, he really does just say the whatever device.
It really is the whatever device? Oh,
Because
okay.
he's not the
that's
writer.
ridiculous.
He's just saying, we'll have the writer throw in a line about the whatever device, so...
Okay.
'Cause he's the
okay.
producer.
So they're probably
I would
not
imagine,
using
though, that-
pure oxygen on
Yeah,
starships.
that's what I was about
in
to
the
say.
future.
By then they'll have the capacity to have a mix like we do on Earth.
Now, furthermore, we learn that Janeway, before she knows that Neelix is cooking her some slop, she's about to have some stewed tomato and dehydrated egg, to which I wrote in my notes, "Oh God, resort to cannibalism now."
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds, ooh.
I would eat that. It's just tomato and eggs. Sounds delicious.
I mean, not a ration pack, though.
No, but I mean, like...
Actually, having said
Consider that the naval tradition of rations is hardtack biscuits.
Actually, I will admit, I have a weird soft spot for, like, terrible breakfast buffet scrambled eggs. So I would actually probably be pretty pleased with that.
Breakfast buffet scrambled eggs can be pretty good.
There's something about them. They're not, they're clearly made from powdered bullshit, but there's something, I don't know, weirdly pleasant about them.
Y'all are fucking weird.
The tomatoes are probably like fucking crackers, though. I don't know how she can eat those.
Like crackers?
Well, I'm assuming the tomatoes are also dehydrated.
Well, then wouldn't she have said dehydrated stewed tomatoes and eggs?
Maybe. Good point.
I like the comment that almost the first thing Neelix says when he wakes back up is, "Your ceiling is hideous."
Yeah.
Because he knows he's going to have to stare at it for a very long time if he's confined to this thing.
Either these curtains go or I go.
Well, he can't go anywhere, so sorry, buddy.
Well, I know, and Oscar Wilde, I believe, died. So, after saying that.
Yeah,
He doubled down.
That's right. Yeah.
He's Vidians. Fuck these guys, or Vidians, whatever. They're assholes.
Yeah, they suck.
Like, goddamn, son.
I don't feel like it's, like we say, that it's sort of like a morally gray area. I don't feel like it is morally gray area. You just don't do the shit that they did. You just don't do that.
You die off. You let your race die off.
Or
That's
you, like,
fine.
figure out a different way to cure it. You don't start fucking stealing lungs from other people. It's fucked.
Maybe they just have a different moral code than we do.
Yeah,
maybe
but
they're
seriously,
maybe they feel like it's more of a survival of the fittest thing, where
they're obviously not the fittest.
they're
because
clearly
dying
not the
of
fittest,
space
but-
rot.
And they look like that.
but they're managing to survive.
Like,
That's my question. Because they say, like, thousands of us die every year of this phage. How are they keeping up as a population?
They fuck
That
a
makes
lot.
no sense.
Lot of alcohol, because that is the only way you're fucking.
Because
Like,
they look like that.
I mean,
and
they
their
may
vaginas
also just
fall
have a
out.
really huge society. Maybe.
well, the thing is, this has been happening, they said, for 2 millennia. I mean, you say it adapts, so maybe there are periods where they kind of start to level it out for a bit, but then it peaks again, it spikes again, we're in the middle of another spike, but, like, I'm sorry, just die. It's been 2 millennia, just fucking die. Like, you are monsters, ethically, I mean, not literally.
No, both.
I'm trying to be nice.
No, both.
Just die.
Oh, you're
Stop.
trying to be nice? Just die.
Yes.
Yeah, your faces aren't trash, but you should still die.
Your faces aren't trash, but
No, they are.
Your culture is.
if the only way you can live is by murdering other people, fuck you.
Yeah. No, they're pretty screwy.
Like, I am not sympathetic to them. I just can't be. It's like, no.
Yeah, I read
Yeah.
that there was of that very interesting moment, like that literally like 2-line scene or a 2-line moment of Janeway learning about this and having to deliver the line of whatever the hell it is she says with both disgust and sympathy. Like, this is what your people go through, and that's terrible. But Jesus, fuck, what you do about it is the worst too.
Yeah.
Arg.
Yeah. Like, I get why she's like, well, I can't just kill you to get the lungs back, because...
Yeah, then
yeah, you
I'm
could.
basically you. Then I'm lowering myself to your position, which
No, because
I don't wanna do
she's
that.
just taking back what they took. I don't think it would be the same.
I mean, it's also just the point that they wouldn't have had the technology to then give them back to Neelix anyway.
I know, but it would have made me feel better.
I mean, I do appreciate that she was like, all right, but here's the deal. Tell the rest of your people, you fuck with me again, I will murder so many of you.
That is some Batman shit right there.
Good old Neelix.
that guy.
Yeah.
Man, Doc's lucky it was just an itch above his eye.
Oh. No, this was after they did the anal breathing.
So I feel like the Doctor is like a lot of people's favorite character. Is this just kind of how he is forever? Like really bitchy all the time, or
He gets hobbies eventually, and his bitchiness becomes a little less like angry bitchy and more catty bitchy, which is more fun.
Alright, well, catty bitchy sounds alright, because all I can think is this whole time, it's like all he does is bitch, piss, and moan. This is your big moment. Just fucking shut up and do it.
Yeah, he once they figure out what they're doing with him, he becomes like the best.
Well, I also think that
Like,
it's not
again,
just that they figure
so
out what to do
far-
with him. I think it's intended to be sort of a character development
Well, that's true,
thing,
yeah.
right? Like that, he was designed
Arc.
to be a utilitarian thing, right? And he's just this cantankerous thing. But, now he has to sort of live with humans and adjust to social norms. And I also think that the crew starts respecting him more, because you also get the sense that even now they just kind of consider him a piece of kit,
Yeah, like only Kes treats him as like
A
an
person.
entity.
Yeah,
Okay, but-
a sentient thing.
But he is a piece of kit, and he shouldn't be able to feel annoyed by being treated like a piece of kit.
But
Whoever
he's been
created
programmed
him,
to.
I know, but that's stupid.
Well, no, see, I think part of his annoyance is less that it's not that it's that they aren't treating him as a piece of kit. Sometimes the issue is they forget to turn him off. They forget that they have to fill him in on stuff from when he was deactivated. Like,
Yeah, it's
Like-
why I also really like that scene he has with Kes when, they're talking about, I'm not a counselor, I'm not trained for this. And Kes
Yeah.
asks, like, okay, well, how would a non-holographic person, doctor, learn how to be a counselor? And he said, well, through experience, obviously. And she said, yeah, so we're all learning. You're learning because programs learn like people. And that's really, that's so fucking smart.
Yeah.
Kes is interesting to me because, she brings this kind of optimism to the show that is otherwise lacking in a lot of these scenarios.
yeah, what's interesting with her is like they totally could have just made her like blinking and naive, but instead they just make her like
She's the emotional
open
core.
to things.
Yeah.
She's just,
Oh, when we
Just-
first meet her, we first met her in Caretaker, and they basically said, like, she says, curiosity is my worst attribute. And
Yeah.
Neelix says, no, it's your best attribute. So good for her. She's going to make a great nurse.
Yes.
So I was saying while we were watching this episode, I don't think Neelix needs to worry about Paris, but he might need to worry about the Doctor.
Ooh.
The Doctor can make it any
I'm
size
shipping
he
them
wants,
hard.
Yeah.
What?
I said the Doctor can make it any size he wants.
Like
Oh,
Odo.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned this in the first Voyager episode, or maybe it was last week, but what's really interesting with the Doctor, too, is, like, unlike Data, who from day one was like, I want to be a real boy, his whole thing is just like, I'm a program. I don't, like, he
I want to
doesn't
do my job.
aspire to more from the off, like, so that'll be, he has humanity thrust upon him, sort
Yeah,
of.
Kes asks, or Neelix asks, do you sing? And he's like, ugh, never. I might have an amazing voice, but ugh.
It's like, I've seen the memes, Doc.
Yay, I look forward.
Minor spoilers.
Oh, so one thing I did read, the working title of this episode was Heart and Soul, because originally it wasn't Neelix's lungs getting stolen, it was Paris blowing out his heart doing something, and them having to do basically keep him alive with a holographic heart or something like that. Keep Paris alive long enough to figure out a thing. And they changed it over because they also had this idea about a villainous race that harvests organs, and they're like, cram the two together! It fits!
Well,
And they're
also,
yeah.
we...
I'm
That
sure I know what you're gonna say.
definitely... yeah, like, that definitely wouldn't work, because we've thoroughly established they can make artificial hearts for humans. Picard had one.
Yeah,
Hey.
although he did have to go to a special base to have it installed. Like, that might not be a surgery that the ship would be equipped to do.
Yeah, there's
Well-
no Pulaski here.
I think it was, in his case, though, too, part of the issue was, like... I feel like it was twofold. Is one, his original had, like, a flaw. And 2, I think the main reason he didn't do it on the Enterprise was because he didn't want people to know he had a fake heart.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
that seemed to be part of the whole thing. And, like, even if they were just like, well, replicator rations, it's like, I'm pretty sure to save a crewman's life, we gotta, like, make an exception.
Especially if they're still holodecking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
So, yes, I think aliens that stole lungs they don't know how to replicate is definitely a better idea.
Here's another better idea. So we find this asteroid, and we're like, will Voyager fit inside? And they're doing math, like, yes, we can fit the Voyager in that asteroid. Send a shuttle pod! You fools! God damn it, they're smaller and will fit. You don't know how big this cave is. That always drives me nuts when, like, the Millennium Falcon or XY ship flies into a tunnel and they're like, yes, we will totally be able to go all the way through. How the hell does that work?
Especially when you know that the people you're dealing with are really good at faking sensor readings.
True.
Or, as I noticed Tuvok say at one point, sensor, which I
That's the Vulcan
appreciate.
pronunciation.
Oh, that's
Yes,
good.
exactly. I thought, oh, that's nice.
And then they turn the whole asteroid into a laser funhouse.
Yeah. Believe me, if the if Paramount could have afforded the rights, Paris would have blasted either Zeppelin or Floyd.
Oh.
Yeah. There's not that much in this episode, though, all told. It's like a lot of scenes in sickbay with all that going on, and then, this chase scene, but other than
It's
that,
just a lot of just like sitting there being kind of horrified and being like, yeah, I think I'm with Neelix. Just kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah, same, honestly.
Like this is awful. Again, especially knowing that like the likelihood of the system actually working for more than a week.
Yeah, meanwhile,
Like-
that fire in the galley has taken over the whole place now, because no one put it out when he left.
Ensign What's His Nuts is dead.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
just straight up. He is long gone.
Yeah, Neelix put him in charge. He took one look at the galley and said, nope, I'm out of here.
I just picture like he kind of leaned over the soup like Janeway was, or is that the next one? I can't remember.
I
But anyway,
think
he
it's
like
the next one.
It is the next
he
one.
like leans over the soup, and then just a hand comes out and yanks him into it like Beetlejuice.
Hey, nice.
Daylight come and me one go home.
Like that's they. I don't know. That would have been too much. But if they really did just have Neelix go full like mad scientist cook, yeah, I thought it was really interesting, really well done. Yeah, I get that the idea of him freaking out about Paris was more about him like misdirecting
general.
things, but it was still a little like it seems
Yeah,
weird.
I don't have control kind of a thing. Yeah,
Yeah, I hated it.
the idea
But the
of
rest
him
of it-
being he is a combination of vulnerable and obnoxious, which is right.
Yeah. I mean that's I'd be a fucking disaster too. So I think it was really well handled.
You're not going to be able to say that about Neelix very often, so.
Yeah. Speaking of handling,
No.
What?
I don't know. I was trying to segue
There's
into...
there's no segue. Let's daylight come and move on to the cloud. All right, so in the cloud, what are we talking about in the cloud? Janeway is going through caffeine withdrawal, and the whole crew is running on low morale, possibly also because of caffeine withdrawal.
Did she wind up screaming at Cass that she doesn't like the way Paris is looking at her? Because of
did.
her caffeine withdrawal?
She did. So let's go check out if we can harvest Omicron particles, from this nebula thing. And you all know how the meme goes. We've all seen the meme.
Yep.
Maybe we can make coffee out of it. Think that's how
she-
the meme goes.
I'm sure you saw my Facebook post. I had no idea that she actually says there's coffee in
Oh yeah,
that
people
nebula.
wouldn't make Facebook posts about something that didn't happen.
True, yeah, you're right. I guess I assumed that it was there's blank in that nebula, but they made it coffee because she's obsessed with coffee. But nope, she really says there's coffee in that nebula.
But the context is good, because I think otherwise, if you only see that meme, you think they're literally going to like dip
Get
a
coffee.
cup into the nebula and drink it. But no, it's the potential to get energy that will help us use the replicators, so I can have a bloody cup of coffee, is in that nebula. But that's too many
Yeah.
words for a meme.
Yes.
Yep.
So, let's go check out this nebula. Oh no, we've almost immediately gotten trapped in the nebula. Shit. And we blast our way out of it, so that went poorly and inconveniently for everyone. And because,
Especially the nebula.
because poor Michael Piller, who was, given this episode, realized, okay, there's not enough Nebula plot to cover this a whole episode. Let's have a whole bunch of character scenes. Here are the character scenes we get to see. Let's see. Paris creates a French pool hall called Sandrines for people to hang out with and, get hit on by hollow people in his holodeck, which there shouldn't be energy for, but whatever. Chakotay teaches Janeway to find her animal guide, who was a very cute little lizard.
He was.
Tuvok and Kim had a cute little back and forth at one point about encountering new phenomenon and sass.
That was
It was good.
Cass and Neelix had a make-out session.
That was not good.
Yeah,
and most importantly, Torres and EMH study some blobs that attach themselves to the hull. And holy shit, oh no, we learned the Nebula was actually alive. It's sentient cloud all over again. Son of a bitch. So the rest of the episode, I joked about this to Jake, the rest of the episode is just how much Janeway loves animals. She's like, it was actually an animal? We have to help it because I love animals so much. So we're going to go help the critter because we blasted a hole in it, and that's probably bad for it. So we fly back in.
Maybe.
We do a quick needles and sutures assassins patch job on the critter. We entirely forget to collect any Omicron particles while we're in there, literally surfboarding around in the stuff. Neelix and Kess declare themselves the ship's morale officers, and everyone's a pool shark now. The end.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah. Oh boy, where to begin? I hate that they decided Tom Paris really loved France.
Same.
Like, that just pissed me off. It's like, all the countries in the world. Like, come on, guys.
What country would you prefer?
Literally-
America? How about somewhere in America?
Literally any country except the one his surname matches.
Oh, I get it. Oh.
Like,
To be fair, they're supposed to be just outside Marseille.
that's still in France.
It is, yes.
You couldn't
Paris.
see the Eiffel Tower, therefore it's okay.
Touche.
You can see the Eiffel
Is that how
Tower
it
from
works?
literally
Yeah.
anywhere in France, no matter where you go.
In
In France.
It is the tallest
France.
building in Europe.
Is it
Yeah.
actually?
No, God, no.
Oh, okay. That would have been very interesting.
I do think the Tokyo Tower is taller than the Eiffel Tower.
The Tokyo Eiffel Tower?
Yeah, they literally just made an Eiffel Tower, but bigger, and it's painted orange and white.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Orange and
Better
white.
colors. The Eiffel Tower is
Why orange and
painted
white?
the color of poo.
Well, I think because it's tall enough that it could be a potential risk to airplanes.
They put a light. They
Unlike
put a
the-
light
Put
on
a
the
light
top.
on top.
I don't know
Well,
why
you know.
they haven't covered the Eiffel Tower with like LED glowing lights.
Ooh, or like string lights. It'd be so
Wouldn't
pretty.
it?
Yay.
Like, it's just-
so
Because
festive.
I think
I
it's-
feel like
I just think that the Eiffel Tower is kind of hideous.
It's not very
It's-
attractive.
It's weird that
Yeah.
it's. I mean, I don't know. It's just weird that it's so iconic and it looks like this industrial ruin.
Well, it's iconic because at the time it was big
Yeah.
and it was amazing.
And it was only intended to be a temporary structure for like a World's Fair.
yeah, a lot of those end up outlasting their fares.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, the Parisians have become very precious about it, so that's why I don't think they would do anything interesting with it. Didn't they use it as a radio tower for a while?
Yeah, I think it was a radio tower.
They would for sure never put some kind of high-speed train under it.
No, that's true.
Like
That is true.
Star Trek seems to think.
Yes.
Yeah, speaking of Paris's program, Ricky is just his minuet, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's Ricky, there's the MILF, there's the Gigolo.
So he fucks the gigolo too then, right?
I hope so.
Paris is definitely bisexual.
I'd like to think so.
Same.
Caitlin, with her fucking laser vision, realized that the pool shark is one of the policemen from the first Home Alone.
Yeah, you know when Catherine O'Hara calls the cops and she winds up talking to the cops and the one guy has the donut and the donut falls onto the phone while he's talking and it's like, oh wow, that's hilarious. How did that happen? Well, that's him.
Oh, I don't
remember
think I've
seeing-
seen that movie in 30 years or so.
The first one's still pretty good.
You haven't seen, dude. We have to watch it this year. This is gonna happen.
Okay.
Sorry, I got us off course.
We're gonna watch
about,
Home Alone this Christmas, though.
We were talking
Oh my god,
about...
let's do a 10 forward.
No.
It'd be a special Christmas 10 forward.
If we ever do a Christmas
Do it on
10
your own
forward, it's going to be
podcast.
the Star Wars Holiday Special.
No.
This is my own podcast.
Anyway, we were talking about Tom Paris's waste of energy.
Yep.
Um,
And when you said the pool shark,
the pool shark.
yeah, but the pool shark was Janeway, so I don't know who you're talking about.
Hey, nice.
The hollow pool shark, I should say. He did previously, he'll be on Star Trek a couple more times as different characters, but he already appeared once as the weird floating multicolored head in a bubble.
Oh shit, that was him
Yep.
in TNG? Oh my
Yep.
god.
Yep.
In
Because I was
Alexander's nightmare room?
yeah. He wasn't credited, but he was the head in a bubble.
Oh gosh. Well, typecasting, I guess.
But yeah, I really don't understand how they can justify having the holodeck on when...
No. Even when you're saying morale is low, fine, have a Scrabble night. That doesn't require any fucking energy.
Like, get some furniture in there and just turn the space into a lounge.
Yeah.
Like, don't...
Like 10
I get that
forward,
it's a-
people loved it.
Yeah, like, I know it's a big space and you don't want to waste it, so just turn off the holo emitters, put in some real furniture, get an actual pool table somehow.
I mean, I could see the holodeck being useful in certain instances where you would want something to either like test something, to say, like, would this work? Run a holo program about it. So I would still keep that space, but not constantly be running it for fun.
Yeah, no, it does. It just does. It's totally at odds with the last couple of weeks of energy issues.
Even this week, you can't even make we have to scrimp and not let the captain have a cup of fucking coffee. And I would have made
she gets to drink whatever space mud Neelix whipped up.
Oh yes, it's an equivalent to coffee, but better. I doubt that.
It looks like you have to fucking chew it. It's definitely not better.
It's coffee ice cream that he melted.
Blah.
Yeah.
So far I haven't been impressed by his cooking.
Yeah.
I don't think you're supposed to
I think
be.
that's a kind of like
good.
a recurring joke is that his cooking just isn't great.
Or at least not suitable to human palates. Oh, everyone seemed to like the grape leaves.
Ooh.
I mean, who
Well,
doesn't
grape
like
leaves are
grape
delicious.
leaves? I was gonna say.
I had grape leaves yesterday at work. They were delish.
It was kind of amusing to see again the non-Starfleet view of why do you people do this shit? Because I feel like we got a little bit of that with Kira in the early days of DS9 before they kind of just focused more on the major storylines they threaded.
Oh yeah, when Neelix is like, "Oh, well, there's a cloud. We have to go explore it instead of staying alive."
Yeah.
Fools.
Yeah, so we get Paris, we get the Neelix. So we also get Chakotay trying to help Janeway meet her spirit animal, which
Which
I'm like, okay, I hear a few of thoughts, right? So
Yes.
the reason why Chakotay or any of the Maquis are even on Voyager now is because they had to ramming speed their ship into the caretaker or into that other ship, which then crashed into the caretaker. 3-ship pileup. Anyway, so when they were ramming speed, was he like, beam us out? Hold up, I gotta go get my spirit animal kit. You
Right?
know?
I had a thought on that, though. Here's my thought on that. Because he says, "Oh, I haven't let anyone else see this medicine bag." And yet we learn later, oh, he's also done this with B'Elanna. So clearly this is a new one that he replicated recently. He's never let anyone see this iteration of his bag.
There we
There
go.
you go. That makes sense.
There, I fixed it.
But anyway, so he manages to save his medicine bag. I also because I am imagining that were this a traditional Native American ceremony, it would involve like hallucinogenics, right? But
Well, he mentions that, but now they have they just have
little
the
computery
technobabble.
thing. I think it would have been
technical
great
LSD.
if we had Janeway smoking peyote or something and like just tripping out hard.
Couldn't show that show to kids.
And I also the other
Paramount
part
Plus is
that I enjoyed, or two parts that I enjoyed about that whole thing was, and this will become very relevant in a little while as we're watching the show, but I just want to say it now. I find it, I am very impressed that Janeway's spirit animal is a lizard.
I'm impressed that they never said spirit animal in the episode. They only said animal guide,
Animal
and I'm
guide.
like, wow,
True.
restraint. Was not expecting that, especially knowing that their Native American consultant was a hack.
What's funny is while we were watching this, Jake, our roommate's here with us, and he went, "Oh man, I hope her animal guide's a lizard."
Yeah.
And
It was cute.
It was cute.
Oh God, I wrote down because it was very
he's
funny.
seen the show before, though.
It's super super funny because
yeah,
apparently
that's why
it
he
was
said it.
it was so difficult to get that scene with the lizard because lizards don't act. They don't do fucking anything. So it took them an inordinate amount of time. Am I using that word correctly? I keep saying it.
I think so, yeah.
They used a ridiculous amount of time trying to get the lizard to just move for the camera.
So people
and
wouldn't
just
think it was
wouldn't.
like a toy.
Yeah.
They really should have just got the Geico lizard to do it because, I also really liked the detail that B'Elanna tried to kill her
I like
animal
that
guide.
too. That's funny. It makes me want to know what it was now. Did she
I
think
said
it
it was
probably like a targ
I said I
or
thought it was a
something,
targ.
I mean,
That's what I
because that is
said. I was like, it's
evidently
gonna
the
be a
only
targ, right?
animal on, the only Klingon animal that exists are targs.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think the squickiest thing about the whole let's go meet your guide animal scene is just the knowledge that this came from I'm sure any research they did came from this hack consultant. I would probably be like, yeah, this is fine if we knew that the consultant they had actually gave them like credible and comfortable information.
And, words from an actual Native American dialect. Because, spoiler alert, Akuchi Moya is nonsense.
It's the future.
Yeah, there's going to be new words.
There's new words every day.
But, so the thing that bothers me about it is, the cultural stuff, sure. I don't know, like maybe it is an accurate, thing, like maybe even, I don't know. So I'm not going to,
actually,
I'm not going to judge it based on that.
It was an experience Michael Piller had.
Okay.
Because he apparently, had a vision where he saw a lizard.
It strikes me as like one of those, things that like executives do. They go into the desert and, like a sweat lodge type thing that like, I don't know, like a tourist,
like from Arrested Development?
like Arrested Development, or like a touristy thing, that may or may not be based on actual like cultural practices, or if it is, it's probably heavily altered,
Waited to get money.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, but anyway, but that doesn't really bother me so much. The thing that kind of bothered me about it though is how credulous the episode is towards just spiritual shit in general.
Well, and Janeway's so into it.
Yeah.
She loves animals, as we learn. Any
Star
animals.
Trek has always been very agnostic, I would say. The only time, whenever we meet God or whenever we meet literal God on Shakari, or
What about the wormhole aliens?
anytime we meet a God, it's either well established that they're an alien or a fraud. And now it's like, okay, and I know these aren't gods, it's just, but we have now a credulous take on
You can
on
probably
supernatural.
blame whatever the tech Chakotay had.
Yeah, well, that's the
running.
thing, right? Like we could just say that like this was a not drug induced, but space
Equivalent.
drug induced hallucination.
You had a great comment when we were watching Jake, which was, I hope this is all just Chakotay fucking with her.
Yeah, he's just making shit up.
He's like, later I'm going to turn into a bird and save us.
Don't tell Paris.
This is what. So there's an episode of Stargate that deals with Native American spirituality, and like all of the gods that we meet in Stargate, they're all frauds. But in this case, they're like,
it's a good premise.
They're benevolent, at least. So like in that episode, they go to a planet where they find some Native Americans, and some of the take on the Native American characters is not great.
This like a Miramani situation.
Kinda. All the people that we meet in Stargate are humans that were abducted from Earth and brought to other planets. So yes. but yeah, they're kind of portrayed as being, simplistic, even though they've, been there. But the explanation is that their spirits, who are animals, were actually aliens disguising themselves as animals and kind of keeping them in this perpetual state of belief. But they're very protective of the alien. The aliens are very, very protective of the people. So when our heroes show up and try to like mine their sacred mountain, the aliens are like, well, fuck that. We're gonna fuck your shit up.
And rightly so. It's their sacred mountain, goddammit.
It's full of candy.
Candy Mountain.
But yeah, it reminded me of that. But like, at least the comparison I was making was like, okay, yeah, in Stargate, it's like, okay, yeah, the Native American spiritual thing is real in the sense that these are actual, they're actually talking to animals, but behind the scenes we know that it's just aliens that are sort of pulling the wool over their eyes. Whereas in this, it's a little ambiguous. Like, is this just a hallucinogenic experience, or is this, are there actual spirits here? And I'm not quite sure the take that the episode had on it.
Yeah. And he had, like, Janeway, the scientist, being, like...
Yeah, that's true.
Really excited by this. Just like, what the fuck? Doesn't make any goddamn sense. Oh, another thing
she misses her doggy. She wanted to see a critter. That's the only thing I can say.
Fair enough. One thing I call massive piles of bullshit on. The idea that the suture would have been lost as an idea.
Yeah.
Suture?
Like, you cannot tell me that Starfleet doctors are not still taught suturing just as a backup.
I could tell you that, but
I don't know.
What if I did?
What is this? The Dark Ages?
Yeah.
You just think it would be part of their just like, all right, survival training. You're on a planet. Your equipment's been smashed. Here's what you can do.
Here are the roots you can munch.
Yeah. That was a bit stupid.
I mean,
not the fact that they had to suture it, but just the fact that everyone seemed perplexed by the concept of a suture.
Yeah, and it's not like improvised medicine isn't a thing. Like, didn't somebody make a splint at one point that we saw?
Yeah, I think it was in that episode that was just referenced with the, chewing on the right root.
Right.
Because Bev fucked up her leg.
Arsenal of Freedom.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was,
wow, goddamn.
I couldn't remember if it was that episode or a different one. But yeah, you're right, because she broke her leg when they fell down into the pit.
Yep. Though being fair, the stuff about roots she knew because of her grandmama, not because of Starfleet.
Her grandmama was sending her
true.
letters about sexy ghost men.
Yeah, her.
Being fair, she one grandma fucked a ghost, another grandma was a like a drug fiend who accidentally realized certain plants also have medicinal properties.
She's the same person. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
I just think it's funnier if both her grandparents are kind of weird.
Harry is now the weirdest guy on the show because he claims he remembers being in the womb.
Oh yeah, what the fuck?
Fuck.
Everything that happened
That's
after
why
that.
he has no friends.
I'm like, no, Harry's still the weirdest guy on the show, despite everything else that is happening. You're bizarre, Harry.
Like, is that them trying to imply he's like super intelligent or something?
Sorry, cat walked through a wind chime.
Oh, what beautiful,
Why do you have an indoor wind chime?
I have a lot of indoor wind chimes. You can see one behind me. I keep one on the desk. I keep one over
pretty.
there.
They make pretty sounds.
They do.
Better than
when
outdoor
the
wind
cat
chimes,
walks through it.
which are just obnoxious.
There.
Control over wind chimes.
But yeah, I well, like, was it supposed to somehow imply he's like crazy smart or something?
I think he's delusional.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? That was unnecessary. I get the episode ran short, but now I'm just uncomfortable.
Or maybe he's just got a great memory. But that's the thing. Like, I don't
think I think your brain's hooked up.
Is there
yet.
any evidence that fetuses are conscious?
I mean, whether or not they are, I think they already have established that you can't form long-term memories before, like, I think, like, 6 months to a year.
Maybe, yeah.
That seems way too young too.
That might be wrong as well, but, like,
Are we gonna find out that he was also genetically engineered?
Oh God.
I hope so. He and Julian used to do arm wrestling matches in their clinic.
There you go. Yeah, and what is there to remember? Oh, it's dark as fucking
Darkness.
It's warmth, darkness, and water.
Thumb sucking.
The first time he was aware of his penis. Maybe.
And what a boy! Simpson, that's the umbilical cord.
He remembers when his fuzz came off.
Gross.
And his fuzz came off?
Apparently there's some stage where,
Oh yeah, the baby's covered in hair.
in like a light fuzz that eventually comes off and dissolves.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That's the same with many species of marine
No, he was
life.
actually
The
he was actually
babies have
born
a little fuzz.
with the fuzz. That's the thing.
No.
His fuzz never came off, hence his name.
Oh, fucking goddamn it. Son of a bitch. Also, Harry did have a couple of cute little interactions with Tuvok, in which we learned that you could use your comm badges just across the room from each other to gossip, and I love it.
Yeah. That changes everything. Like the Breen. Like,
More so than the Breen, even.
retroactively, we have to wonder about all the secret conversations that have been happening throughout all the Star Trek we've seen up to this point.
I would say that with that kind of tech, at least a couple of people are having phone sex basically at all times.
Oh yeah, Kirk and Rand, constantly.
Riker and half the ship.
He just picks a
Paris-
number at random.
Sorry, wrong comm badge.
Paris and 3/4 of the ship.
All of Cetacean Ops. I know I rag on Lower Decks a lot, but they recently introduced
Oh, I
Cetacean
saw.
Ops, and I love them so much.
I'll give them credit for that. They give them little dolphin uniforms.
They're beluga whales.
Oh, is that what they are? Okay. That would explain the shape of the head, actually.
What does all marine life look the same to you?
No, that's what I'm
mean,
saying. They
in
didn't
Lower
really
Decks-
look like dolphins.
In Lower Decks animation design, kinda yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I actually also thought they were dolphins, so I'll take the hit on that as well.
Yeah, but I love them. You know, like all animals, like Janeway.
Yes.
Yeah, so what is she like? Betty White in space?
What?
I said, what is she like? Betty White in space.
Does Betty White
is
really
like-
love animals?
Yeah, she's actually famously known for loving animals.
Fair enough.
Now I like Betty White
Except
more.
to you fucking charlatans, apparently.
Well, I mean, I know very little of her outside of Golden Girls and the Mary Tyler Moore Show. But yeah, it was really weird that it did feel like there wasn't really a single main plot.
The cloud,
yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
Mostly the cloud. But we
mostly
took a
the cloud was-
vacation in the middle of it.
A long, long vacation. And yeah, it was just kind of like, it did feel like, oh yeah, no, the main plot ran short, so they just ran
I'm
with
actually
it.
really surprised that they didn't have Tuvok try to meld with it.
Oh, that's true! Because it's exactly what happened in that TAS episode.
Or they could have had like the motion picture, go out there in a spacesuit and just be like, "Arr!
Yes.
Miss Piggy!"
See the giant Ilea. Oh, yeah.
No kill eye.
Maybe that's why they didn't take the Omicron Persei particles, though, was they were like, that'd be kind of like stealing organs from this thing.
It's like a sample of blood.
Would make us, you can't steal blood without permission. That makes you a Vidian.
The thing is already bleeding everywhere. You might as well
She-
take some. You can't put
Also,
it back.
It's
She
bleeding
really
because
wants
you blew it
cock.
up.
I mean, listen.
They tore
Can't
it a
make an
new
omelet without
asshole.
breaking a few eggs.
Some
Literally.
dehydrated eggs.
Maybe they can breathe through it then,
That's right.
Jake.
There it is. That's the title of this episode now. Breathing through your asshole.
I don't think I could call it that, but
No,
I'll try
I
to
think you
figure out
can't
the
put the word-
G-rated
You
version.
can't put the word asshole in the
Butt's
title.
probably fine.
But
Butt breathing.
So,
Butt breathing.
do we
breathing.
think that the alien cloud is it like a jellyfish type of deal where it's just sort of reacting, like it has like a nervous system but not very sophisticated, or is it like a full on
It
I know
seems
what's up
a
alien?
little more complex, just because it seems to have because at first it's got the sort of, for lack of a better term, white blood cell reaction.
dude, jellyfish are super complex, dude.
Yeah. I hold conversations with them regularly.
I mean, when you're high enough.
They don't have a brain.
My animal guide's a jellyfish.
That's unfortunate. They're not going to do much for you.
I mean, it stings me a lot. But then, yeah, it does, like, up its defenses at one point, like...
Well, that was, I think, just an involuntary reaction. Like, if you got, like, a cut, your immune system would be like, I'll take care of that for you.
Well, yeah, it's a hard call. It could just be that... Yeah, I don't know.
I liked it.
It was nice of them to fix the damage they'd done.
True.
Yeah, I can't see Picard or Cisco or Kirk doing that. They'd be like, go harvest its organs!
So, unless anyone's got something else, Ames.
Yeah, we're running...
I hear you've something planned for us this week again?
So we're running short, like this episode
Heyo.
did.
Yeah.
So I'm share screen with you folk. All right, so we're going to be talking, because we've been talking about the various Star Trek films for the past couple of weeks, and the next thing on our Star Trek film adventure is looking at the posters. Again, not great for an audio medium, but if you click here, button appears. You can go over to our Tumblr, where we have all the posters, where you can view them. You can view our whole thoughts on the TOS, TNG, and whatever the other one is posters. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Or just Google them. They're all, like, you've probably seen these posters 85 times. So what I have right in front of our friends right now is the Star Trek The Motion Picture poster. We all remember The Human Adventure is just beginning. Huh.
like
we
that
have
one.
Oh, that's true. Jake loves that one. Huh.
Well,
We've got the kind of like rainbow prism with Kirk and Ilia and Spock in there, with the Enterprise underneath. It's all very colorful and nice. What do you guys think of this one?
I think it's pretty attractive, actually, for such a shit movie.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good. It's iconic. It's been referenced by other Star Trek artwork later on.
Yeah.
It is kind of funny that it's Kirk, Spock, and Ilia, and not Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. But
Well, McCoy
was barely in
he
this
didn't
movie.
do a ton.
that's true.
They could have just put like his chest
hair?
Ooh,
just floating there.
bulge.
I don't.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He had, like, his super disco
Yeah.
outfit
Yep.
in this one, right?
Yep.
Oh, my God, I forgot all
I
about
don't know
that.
if it's just because of like this scan of the poster, but like the Kirk's face is barely visible.
Yeah, he doesn't
Like-
even
like
look
there's
like
not,
him
like-
either.
It's hard to find one where he's very
Yeah.
distinct.
So that might
But
just
yeah,
be how
I
it
do
is.
like I
then.
like the colors. I think it's like this kind of rainbow ombre sort of thing going on.
Yeah, no, it's a classic.
Yeah, it's reminiscent of all the cool visuals you're going to get out of the movie, if nothing else.
I think the most
Yes.
surprising thing about this poster to me is that that movie was rated G in spite of the transporter accident scene.
Oh, yeah, wow. Oof.
Oh, right, that.
Well, remember, kids weren't pussies
Oh,
back then,
right,
guys. You know? This was before the pussification of America, TM. Ugh.
All right, moving on. Let's take a look at. We all know the Wrath of Khan poster. It's up in my dining room. We've got it's very clearly painting-y because you can see some brush stroke going on. We got the tagline, which I know Chris and Caitlin like, but I detest. We have some Ricardo Montalban peck happening.
The
We have
Enterprise attacking Regular One
Yeah.
for some reason.
For reasons, it knows what
It's
it
got
did.
somehow.
Savick.
Yeah, I
Good.
say they got Savick that doesn't look anything like Kirstie Alley.
But kind of looks like Robin
Yeah.
Curtis.
They knew.
It's really weird.
They already knew. Yeah. So
Yeah.
The interesting thing here is that the title text on this is way better than the actual title card in the film.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. I forgot. It is very different. It just
Actually
kinda looks-
readable.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do that a lot. You're going to see that a lot where whatever is in the movie isn't what they put in the thing. In fact, you're going to see entirely different taglines than our tagline episode 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
which is also up on the Tumblr if you don't want to check it out. Yeah, I think the thing I like most about this poster is like the army of Khan's friends looming behind him, and you're like, ooh, who are they?
Are those figures? I don't know if I've ever noticed this. Are those figures near his nuts? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are those people?
I don't know. I've never noticed them either. They're running out of his pants.
I think.
Oh, is that the crew in engineering when there's the fire and they're like trying to run away from it? Maybe is that maybe supposed to be
That, or it's when Chekhov and the captain of the Reliant are running away from Botany Bay?
They don't get very
Oh,
far.
no.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I'd never noticed that before either. That's so weird. Huh.
Neat. Moving on, let's take a look for the search for Spock. It's very blue. We have the Enterprise shooting at a Klingon ship. We have a gigantic ethereal Spock head. Looks a little more like the Godhead in 5 floating above them. And then a little tiny, we got Kirk and what looks like McCoy and Savick. Robin Curtis style Savick.
Sulu.
I can't tell if that's Sulu or Chekhov. And then
Sulu,
just a
'cause-
random shaped figure over here.
No, I think.
It's Sulu because it's got his blue shirt on.
Okay.
But the face looks more like Chekhov to me.
Yeah, because he looks like a gape at something, which I can't picture Sulu doing. And then there's just another figure over here, a tiny little splot of a figure.
That's Koenig.
There you go.
What's weird about this one is that, like, they made the poster and then said, we don't want to put text on it, so let's make a frame and put the text on that.
I'm guessing the reason why we can't see it very well also just because this actually is just a cut, a crop of a existing painting, like a much larger painting.
Oh, possibly. These are literally the posters I copied out of IMDb.
Yeah. Because just like the scale of the crew in the bottom is very small. So it makes me think that, maybe this was a larger piece.
Yeah, do a Google search for Spock poster, and you'll see lots of like different variants. In fact, one thing that I'll mention as we're moving forward is if you spot a poster in here that you don't think was the official poster, it's because there are frequently multiple fucking posters for movies, especially the Kelvins. There's like 8 different posters per movie.
Well,
So I just went with whatever one was technically the theatrical poster.
And then they also have like character posters and
Yeah.
Because they gotta make monies.
Well, and that's a newer phenomenon, the character poster. That's something that's cropped up in like the last 15 years.
Yeah, because you can buy them at cons.
Do people even buy?
Yep.
I guess teenagers probably still have posters up.
Probably. Moving forward. Oh, the voyage home is so colorful.
Yeah.
I like that all of the main cast members are featured. That's nice.
Me too. You don't see that a lot, especially because they're actually all featured in the film itself very well, which is a rarity.
Yeah.
It's
Although
a better
they kinda-
tagline too. The tagline is better. The tagline on this one is Stardate 1986. How on earth can they save the future?
It's definitely better than the plot summary tagline.
Yes.
I do feel like they kind of fucked up Nichelle Nichols, though. Like, that doesn't really look that much like her.
No, it doesn't. You're right.
They also decided, let's depict George Takei in the middle of saying a word.
Yep. And Chekhov frowning? What's he doing?
No, he's
there?
looking longingly at his ham sandwich just off
Yeah,
screen.
in terms of figures that don't really look like themselves, I don't think Shatner here is really accurately depicted either.
He looks more like Koenig.
Looks like Sly Stallone a little bit.
Yeah, a little.
And fucking McCoy looks like the Grinch.
Yeah, I think Shatner looks a little like Matt LeBlanc in this painting.
Oh my god, that is what he looks like.
I don't think I know who that is.
Hey, he's one of the guys from Friends.
Oh, Joey?
Yeah. Yeah, so anything else on the 4 poster? I do love that, there's a sunset, so it's very colorful and pretty.
Yeah, no, it's really like, it's pretty nice, until you look too closely at the faces and you're like, what the fuck happened here?
Yeah, the
You could
face.
say
Scotty
the
looks
same
great.
of. You could say you could say the same of just looking at the picture, the actual pictures of these actors. Though.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding.
Bitch.
I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
How bad is 5? Oh god, is 5 the one I hope it is?
Let's take a look. Well, there are 2 different 5s. One of them I'll show you later. This one of 5,
Okay, this is the real one.
yeah, is the real one. So we've got it's everything comes to a point like a V in 5.
Yep, they were really not subtle about that.
They knew it was 5. It's a different tagline than we saw in the other one. Adventure and imagination will meet at the final frontier.
What?
That might be worse.
It is.
What was the one? I know I hated it.
Adventure, there was something about adventure beginning, I'm sure.
Oh, no, Adventure is the greatest enterprise or
That's
something.
it. Oh, no, that one's still worse.
I will say, like,
worse.
they're kind of over-egging the pudding with the V, but then again, it also makes everything really dynamic. Like, there's just this sense of motion and movement, and it lines up nicely with the nacelles, and...
Space horses.
Yeah,
like, if I
Space
didn't
Horses.
know the movie it was attached to, I might think, this looks pretty cool.
It's a little dark and tough to see detail in, though. Like, there's not a ton happening other than the movement.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know
not
if
the
it tells
worst,
you what
not
the
best.
show, what the movie really has in it.
I don't know why. Like, so one common thing on these posters is like rays of light shooting out of people's faces.
It's space and the future! It's the lens flare of 1980s.
I guess
Basically.
so.
Yeah, pretty straightforward, though. Got a lot of riding horses on a planet, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or just in space. Could be that.
Were there that many horses in this movie? I just like not remembering that there were a ton of horses.
There was
were
like
some
the
horses.
one... There's the one scene where, like, Shatner and his crew, like, horsed up to
Horsed up.
Paradise City or whatever it was called.
That feels like they did ketamine.
Didn't I thought Cybok had a horse?
I think you're right. I think he did.
Yeah, did they assault the city on horses too?
I
don't
thought
remember.
they did.
They
But
might
it's been
have.
a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not seeing God, so... Points off.
What does he need with a starship?
Eh. Moving on. The Star Trek 6 poster is quite dynamic as well. It almost looks like they're in... because we got the faces of Kirk, Spock, McCoy, which, you know, more McCoy I'm into. But they kind of look like they're in the tube that Augustus Gloop ends up in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Accurate.
True.
Or
Yeah,
Willy
they're-
Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, rather. But yeah.
Kind of gives away a twist, doesn't
Which
it?
twist?
How so?
General Chang, like, hovering there, obviously evil.
I mean, it was pretty clear from the start that he was a villain.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But also, how can you tell that that's him? Oh, it's
Eye
the
patch.
eye patch. Never mind, I'm dumb.
I do like I noticed that around the title they have the explosion,
Yep.
and they actually depict what I've now learned is known in film as the Praxis effect, which is when you see in films when there's a large explosion and a ring of shit comes off of it, and apparently it was famously used in this movie for the explosion of Praxis, and then like Hollywood just decided like, explosions are pretty cool when there's a giant wave of shit coming off of them. So like it just gets used in all kinds of movies. Like they use it in the Star Wars
The remasters. Yeah.
remasters, and so but apparently, although this wasn't the first film to use it, it was like the first like notable use of that particular
They're the ones that kind of brought it to people's attention in a big way.
yeah.
That's cool.
It's kind of like how the Wilhelm scream had been around for years, but it was really Lucas's constant use of it that got other people to start using it again.
But why? Like the Praxis effect is cool, but the Wilhelm scream, not.
What?
Moving forward, we're going to end up in the TNG movies. The first one is
Meh.
Generations, and incredibly boring.
Yep.
2 captains, 1 destiny. So slightly different from the official tagline, if I remember.
Yeah, it's 2 captains, 1 density.
I feel like Kirk looks like either Garrick or Gul Dukat in this drawing. Like I don't feel he looks like Kirk. I feel like Picard looks perfect.
I'm not seeing what you're seeing, Caitlin, but yeah, Picard looks great. Shatner's there.
This feels less like a poster for a movie and more like a print ad for a particularly pivotal episode of a series.
Yeah. It's this week on Grey's Anatomy.
Like you'd find that in a TV guide back in the day.
The lens flare I'm not crazy about.
See, we all made fun of JJ, but apparently he didn't start it.
Yeah.
He perfected it. Ugh, no. Yeah, I'm pretty nonplussed by this one. Might be my least favorite so far, but we'll circle back around. I know I do love the First Contact poster.
Yeah,
It's very dynamic.
Hints of the TMP here.
Yeah.
The
I
like
think
columns of light in
rainbow
the
and the column.
faces.
yeah.
The Horde of Borg, just
The
like...
Horde of Borg is a little bit like the Horde in Wrath of Khan's poster.
Yeah,
I love seeing them.
Good old Borg Horde.
Yeah.
Try saying that 10 times fast.
The fact that, I know that it is common to only have a couple of the characters on the poster, but, the fact
I mean,
that
this was the Picard and Data movie, and that was it.
I don't know. Other people did some things, There was Lily. She was pretty much, I would say, the third co-star.
But yeah, these movies definitely lean very heavily on, like, Picard and Data.
Yeah.
And Borg. People want to see Borg. People don't care about going to Montana.
The TNG films in general, like...
Oh, yes, true.
Definitely.
As we're going to see in the upcoming posters. Speaking of the upcoming posters, anything else you want to point out on the First Contact poster?
No, looks good.
It's nice. I like
great.
it.
It's a good one.
So we have Insurrection.
Way better poster than that movie deserved.
Yeah, this one ain't bad.
You like this one?
I do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about this one because I find it kind of confusing.
I feel like it's got Amadeus vibes, which is appropriate.
Appropriate,
Hey,
yeah.
there you go.
That would be F. Murray Abraham, too, so...
Yeah. In both cases.
Yeah, I know, it's mysterious, it's got an interesting, the bright blue planet, but then all the black and orange and red and the weird, semi-visible face just glaring down, like... It's like, yeah, this is gonna be good.
But it looks like it's gonna fly. It looks like the Enterprise is gonna fly into his mouth.
Hot. Like God in 5.
Yep, that's what happens.
Yeah, I'm going to move on because I think the Nemesis poster is better than that movie deserved because I really like this poster. The Nemesis poster is just Shinzon in a sea of green smoke.
Yeah, big dagger.
Yeah, it's all right.
I like this one.
The logo is better than the title card.
Yes.
Film.
Oh, for sure.
I honestly feel like it would be better if they just didn't bother with Picard and Data.
Maybe.
Just like centered Shinzon, made him bigger, and like
But then
that
you
was
don't-
the poster.
But then you don't know it's Star Trek.
It says Star Trek above Nemesis.
Here's the
I
other
like
thing
that
about
this-
this poster.
It was
This
released
is-
on 12/13. No, I like that. Go ahead, Ames.
Is that significant?
No, it's because it's 12:13. It's in order.
Yeah, I like that it's sequential.
You're into some weird shit, Caitlin.
Thank you.
This is the first poster, and possibly I think might be the only of the official posters that we see that doesn't have the ship on it.
Oh yeah, yeah, no ship.
Yeah, you're right. No ship.
Hey. Yeah, I'd be curious to see what it might look like without Data and Picard, but I feel like you wouldn't realize it was a Star Trek poster without them.
But you do. You put the ship in there,
Ah, the
like
ship is
flying
just
away
attacking
from
Shinzon.
Shinzon or attacking him. Yes,
Pew,
He's
pew.
giant.
shooting him in his bald ass head.
Yeah, so the thing with the 3 Kelvin movies is they have, each of them has about 8 different posters. The official ones are the most boring of them, though.
I hate this poster. I always have.
So the 2009 poster is just a very black and white, very blurred out Enterprise flying somewhere.
Yeah.
And it must be, is it backing up? Because that's the way the action lines seem to be making it look like it's going.
Who the hell knows? This is the theatrical poster, and it's the cover of the official soundtrack. I hate it. I've always hated it. It's like, I get that you redesigned her a little, but like, fuck off with this. Like, it's not gonna be that different when you finally reveal it, JJ. You and your fucking mystery box ethos, you prick. I've always hated this poster.
I
always.
really don't know what to make of it, just because it's like
Garbage.
It's like a ink blot test or something.
It took me longer because you should be able to recognize something like the fucking Enterprise immediately, but when it takes you more than 1 second, like maybe it took me only a couple seconds, but when you're like, what is that? Oh, it's the Enterprise. Too long.
It feels like this looks like what would happen if you accidentally exposed film and then went ahead and developed it anyway.
Yeah. It's bad. It's so bad. I've never liked it.
Like, oh no, I hope I didn't ruin our holiday pictures.
You did. You did, JJ.
Fuck.
Damn it, JJ. Into Darkness is just the Enterprise going down over a planet.
I didn't realize this was
on
the
fire?
theatrical one.
I believe it is. It's the one that showed up on the Memory Alpha page and the one that shows up first on IMDb.
Yeah. Oh, no, I believe you. I didn't realize. Because I'm used to the one where, like, Cumbercon is standing in a hole that is conveniently delta-shaped.
Yeah, I'll show you that one in a minute, because as I said, 8,000 posters.
Yeah.
This one, honestly, because I don't remember much of Into Darkness, I don't even remember what happens in it, so I don't know if this is even emblematic of what happens in the movie.
It does almost crash, I think.
Cool.
Well, there's the other ship, like, crashes and takes out most of a city, I think, right?
Yeah, I
Other
think
ship?
so. There's another ship.
There's an
that sounds right.
an evil black Enterprise that is evil.
Mirror Enterprise.
And is also like 5 times the size.
Yeah, it's RoboCop's Enterprise.
Yeah.
Cool. And then we get to the Beyond poster.
I like this one. I love
At least it's got a lot more going on.
This one's good, yeah.
It's the Enterprise flying through some clouds with a lot of...
Yeah.
I don't know if they actually, like, the nacelles would make this kind of... Looks like a rocket launch explosion, but...
Wouldn't, but
they use that kind of... You see that imagery, though. I don't know. Like, I would own this as a painting without the words, because I think it's a nice painting.
I think they did release that image without the words as like a cell phone background at the time that you could download. So it's probably out there somewhere. There was also, I know, another one, because like you said, Aim's 1,000 posters, that very much recalled the TMP poster with like Kirk and I assume Spock and Jayla.
Yeah, I'll put them all on the Tumblr so you can see them all, but it'll take us way too long to go through each and every one of them here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is a much better one.
Nice.
Probably the only good Kelvin one.
And this movie apparently was rated PG-13.
Ooh.
So we went from G with the transporter disaster to PG-13 in this movie, which I don't remember having too much like vile shit in it.
No, it's
Sex
really
though, tons.
Oh, yeah, I think there might have been some. Yeah.
Wait, actually?
I mean, nothing that you see much of, but I think there's there's probably something.
But the motion picture, like, Ilea is like a sex machine. Like that's
Literally.
her whole thing.
Yikes.
Yeah. I think, of course, the thing we have to acknowledge with the Kelvin ones is that, like, being frank, the art of good posters died years ago. Like, no modern movie has a good poster, pretty much.
Well, it's, you know what it is? It's like modern movies I find really rely heavily on the, you know, the cast mug shots.
Yeah, the star power for sure.
You know, where it's just headshots of the actors with their names out of order above them.
Yeah. And then, like, half the time you can tell that they just photoshopped one of the actors' heads onto a stand-in's body.
Well, a lot of times it's like they must have done the photo shoot separately and then composited them together also.
Yep, that too.
Cool. So we've seen...
Very cliche.
We've seen all the posters. I have them up in front of us right now. Everybody, pick your favorite, pick your least favorite.
I already know my least favorite. Fucking 2009 Kelvin. Fuck that poster. God, I hate that poster so much. Favorite's harder.
Yeah, for me, I think least favorite's hard because I also want to piss on Generations.
It's just bland.
It's just bland. Yeah, but I might be with you in that 2009. All it tells you is that it's Star Trek and nothing else, and then they're like, you're gonna see this because it's Star Trek. And that's all you need to know.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck is that?
They're clean slating it. You know,
well, they're restarting the whole fucking thing.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. So
yeah,
maybe they're being like, "Hey, go in with no expectation." Ooh. Anyway, it does suck. It is a shitty poster. I actually really don't like the Nemesis poster.
Yeah,
I don't feel like the Nemesis poster tells you anything.
I don't think it tells you anything, and it also, like, to me, it gives kind of like fan art vibes.
Yeah.
Disagree. I like it. I like it because it's mysterious in ways that a lot of the other ones aren't.
But, like, If it was mysterious and made me care who that person was, I would agree, but it doesn't make me care.
Oh, I don't care who the mysterious person in Insurrection is. In that poster.
Same. But it's sort of carried off better because it still looks like space. I don't know. I think I don't like the Nemesis one the most, and with 2009 being a close second because it is bad. It's really not good. Generations gets honorable mention too for being shit, and again for not looking fucking anything like Kirk. He really does look more like random Cardassian number 6.
I don't know where you're getting Cardassian. You can't see the neck or the spoon.
There's just something about the shape of his face, and maybe it's the color. I don't know. Maybe more Jem'Hadar. I don't know. Either way, he doesn't look like people, and he doesn't look like Kirk. Favorite's a little harder.
It's a lot harder.
Because I like Moat TMP a lot, and I like 4 a lot.
I mean, even like I said, it's a terrible fucking movie. But I have to admit, I really like the Insurrection poster. 5's not bad. Again, terrible movie.
How about you, Jake? Where are you standing so far?
I'm going to go with least favorite Generations.
Good. I'm glad it's on the list.
Which is a shame also because somewhere, and it was damaged, so it's not great, but somewhere I actually have a theatrical poster from Generations that's signed by James Doohan.
Whoa.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. Something that I kind of picked up on, but like now that I'm seeing it smaller and more zoomed out, that I actually do kind of appreciate it is the delta shape.
In Generations?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's very subtle, but it's there.
It's subtle, but
so it is delta shaped. I thought it was just a regular oval.
Like a
well,
parabola?
yeah, that's the thing that was
And I
confusing
was
me at first because
taking away points for that.
there's like a larger oval that the delta is superimposed in.
Yeah.
I see.
Which I'm not sure what the larger oval's for.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Is
You
it
know
a
what?
planet? Is it the
Oh, maybe
nexus
maybe it's supposed to
over
be
the planet?
It may be just supposed to be like a planet, like a sun behind the planet.
I also can't remember, but I know they redesigned the comm badge for that one. And that may be sort of close to one of the possible comm badges. Like, I feel like one of them was set on a large oval instead of the, like... Because the TNG one had, like, the oval that went sort of left to right. One of the possible designs made the oval a lot taller and, like...
Oh, weird.
Moved it around, made it, yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, and then I think my favorite is going to have to be motion picture.
Ooh, cool.
I like the colors. I like, as mentioned previously, I like the text is very nice on that one. And I like the tagline. So, yeah, apparently I like everything about the marketing of the motion picture.
Yeah, great marketing.
Don't
my
worry.
favorite
Next
tagline,
week, next
my
week
favorite
you won't
title,
like it.
and my favorite poster now.
It has even good... Like I said, one more pass in the editing bay probably would have salvaged it. Oh, God. What about you, Ames?
Yeah, I'm definitely with you that 2009 is my least favorite. I'm going to give Nemesis more love, but I don't know if I can count it as favorite, even though I do like it because I do like maybe it's the green. No one else has this much green.
Yeah,
And I think that's very
they had
striking.
to.
It's what?
It's the Romulans, they had to.
Oh, there you go. Brilliant. But I'm going to give all the love to 4 because I fucking love 4's poster.
It's a good poster.
Yeah, I think 4 might be my favorite too. It's really close between TMP and 4, but...
And I hate to say it, but...
You love
It's
5?
Fucking abysmal movie, but I gotta give Insurrection its poster.
Wow. I was not expecting anyone to like this Insurrection poster because I find it just so confusing.
I just keep coming back to it and thinking, like, this movie did not deserve this poster.
Wow.
It's interesting the posters that have the ship flying towards you and those with it flying away. So like motion picture, it's flying towards you.
Yep.
Wrath of Khan flying towards you. Search for Spock facing away, but not flying. It's in a battle, but it's facing away. Star Trek 4 flying towards you. Star Trek 5 flying towards you. Star Trek 6 going
away.
Perpendicularly, but yeah.
Kind of in a battle again.
Yeah. Generations flying towards you. First Contact away.
Mm-hmm.
Insurrection away. No ship on Nemesis. 2009 flying towards you. Into Darkness flying away. And in Beyond flying away.
Yeah.
Neat.
And
Yeah,
of
so
course...
these are all going to be up on the Tumblr so you can see them next to each other as well.
Oh, that was fun.
It was fun. It was a romp.
I like having fun with you guys.
Me
Yeah.
too.
You know what we're going to do? Next week we're going to have more fun.
Woo!
I think
More
that was a
fun.
sentence. Because next week, what are we doing next week? We are covering more Voyager, like we do. Next week, we are covering some more Voyager episodes, Eye of the Needle, and Ex Post Facto. In the meantime, I hope you are definitely following along with our Tumblr. You can read about whatever the hell we just talked about there and other stuff that we cover on the Tumblr. We're trying to get more Tumble active these days. Our Tumblr is SSHB Podcast. Check us out there. You can be our friend on Facebook. We'd love that. Just search for our Star to Steer Her By. Go to the Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. We are at SSHB Podcast on the Twitter. You can listen to all these fucking thousands of episodes or however many on all the different streaming platforms. Do I have to name them all? Probably fucking not, so I'm not going to.
We're huge in Belgium. Get on that Belgian train.
Bring us some chocolates. Yeah, so listen to more of us. We'll be back next week for more. In the meantime, this has been Ames.
This has been Caitlin.
This would be Jake.
And this is always Chris.
Hey, I figured out what Bilana's animal guide is.
Oh?
Tribble.
That would do it.
Klingons. Jake solved it.
That would explain it.
That's
Butt
it.
breathing.
We figured it out.
Clap it.
Butt breathing, thank you.